I scampered for the newspaper, immediately taking it apart and searching for the classified section, as I desperately needed a job. After doing a few rounds of interviews, I was turned down for false allegations, saying I was not good enough for the job. But of course it had nothing to do with the fact that I wasn't qualified, as they have all stated, but it was due to the fact that I was black. I was of dark melanin, a 5'3", curly dark brown hair flowing down my back with a little weight on body and light brown eye. But I was detested for this even though I was a graduate of the University of Michigan, where I studied business administration and management and did my internship as well. If anyone would have told me it was going to be this hard to get a job after graduating college, then I would have told them, it is a lie. Ava. Someone's at the door for you. My mom ushered for me. I was so engrossed in circling a few job opportunities in the paper I thought would fit my career description. I forgot Mom had told me someone's at the door. It was only until I heard Pete's voice that I remembered her words before. You had me waiting like a damn fool at the door thinking you'd come. Couldn't you at least relay the message to your mom that you were too busy and unable to attend to your guests? My best friend Pete responded, agitated with my behavior. Sorry, love, but I am just frustrated without a job. I voiced my frustration, putting the paper aside. I'd send out my application in a few minutes. Sitting closely beside me on the bed, he gave me a tight hug to the side before letting me rest my head on his shoulder. Do you know what can help? He asked. What? I questioned him, confused. The only thing that could help me was a job which I was currently out of. A drink. Some music stand to ease some of your stress away, he smirked. That is easy for you to say. How will going out help pay off my student loans and land me a good job? I grumbled. It is simple. He broke down the words as if I was a baby. That is not funny. I slapped him on the shoulder. You expect me to get pregnant so I can pay off my loans? I'd rather go to jail for not paying off my loans. A baby is not on the agenda here. I didn't struggle to go to university, just so I could live off of others. I told him, folding my hands together. I said, sugar daddy, not baby daddy. There is a difference between the two, he stated. There shall be no baby making in my house. This is a God-fearing house, and I will have none of it. My mom sternly said, pointing her finger at the both of us as she walked away once again. Well, you could always become a surrogate, and once you have the baby you could give that child away and you'll have no responsibilities. It is not like you're breaking your virginity, plus it comes with real dollars, Pete added. No. His shortly, neatly cut brown hair pushed to the side with his skin pale as snow, and his light blue eyes mischievous as ever. Overall he was a good looker, but unfortunately he was taken. I had always have a little crush on my only friend Pete Beckett. We had both met in our first year at Michigan, and became the bestest of friends. His girlfriend Livia and I didn't see eye to eye much though, even though the two had stuck around for more than 4 years together. She was always the possessive type, thinking everyone was out to get her beloved Pete. And she clearly did not like the close relationship between us, while I, on the other hand, never even had a kiss in my entire life, much less a boyfriend. I always went by my mother's rules and by her way of living. She had a distaste for anything that had to do with the devil's work. And I couldn't agree more, hence the reason why I went against my best friend. I would go to church every Sunday. Ava, it is for one night only. You need to free up a little. You don't have to get drunk or sleep with anyone. It is just to have a little fun. You'll be with me and Livia for the entire night. His words were a little convincing. I shouldn't even be thinking about it. It was so wrong, but I needed to free up myself just a little. I hadn't done anything in my entire life that I'd consider fun, and I was 22. I'll think about it, I whispered to him. If my mother ever heard of this, she'd probably throw me out of the house. Great. But just in case, Livia brought you a dress to wear, he responded to me, and I was taken back by it. Livia buying me a dress? The girl hated my guts. Something was definitely wrong. Taking a look at it, the dress was way too revealing for my liking. It was a red lace dress that fell just above the knees and had off-the-shoulder sleeves. No, you can't expect me to wear this. It is way too revealing, my God, I gasped. Well, what do you expect to wear? A church dress, Ava. Remember, it is a club, not church. He rolled his eyes at me. I wondered if I was going to regret this in the morning. I've always denied their request, and heard of how they had a great time the next day. Now, don't you disappoint, he said before kissing me on the cheek and leaving, but I haven't decided whether or not. I slumped down on the bed, realizing he was already gone, glaring at the dress that was across from me on the bed. Later that night. You'll be fine, Ava Pete whispered to me. Her girlfriend Livia stood next to him in a short black dress. She didn't even bother to say hi to me. Somehow I just knew Pete was the one who talked her into it. She only gave you this dress because she didn't want you making her look bad. You guys aren't even friends. I had made up my mind it will only be for one night. We made our way to the club after I had sneaked out of my bedroom window 10 in the night when my mom would normally fall asleep. Luckily, I was used to walking in heels to go to church, or these 6-inch stilettos would have already embarrassed me. And by the looks of it, this was a very high prestige club. These people going inside the club looked extremely rich. It must have cost Pete and Livia a fortune. This could have probably paid off my entire student loans. This must have cost you a fortune, I said. Actually, Livia has a friend who knows a friend that has decided to let us in for free, he explained. My phone began to ring, and I was bustling to take out of my purse when I suddenly bumped into someone. Oh, sorry. I apologized, bending down to pick up my phone off the ground that was now smashed in pieces and placing it back inside my purse without bothering to look who was calling. I stood up only to find a very handsome man standing before me. He looked like a football player with thick muscle underneath his well-fitted suit. He was around 6'7" tall from my estimation. Were these the type of men that came to this club? Seeing Pete and Livia walk away, without even looking back, I quickly ran up to catch the two. The bouncer let us in without hesitation. I entered what seemed to be a lavishly dense club. They headed straight for the bar, ordering drinks. I declined having any, but Livia wasn't having any of it, and urged me to take a drink of a cup of liquor she had ordered. Not wanting to be a party pooper, I decided to take a few sips, which unfortunately led to a few cups. Come on, Ava. Lighten up. She took me to the dance floor as my body subconsciously began to sway to the music. This feeling was new to me. I felt as though I had not a care in the world. I was so caught up in having fun and dancing the night away that I didn't even take notice of what was happening around me, the cologne intoxicating me as I felt his body sway with my body. And seconds later, his head was at the side of my neck. Come away with me, he whispered seductively in my ear, fanning his hot breath against my neck, the sudden feeling stirring pleasures I've never felt before, intoxicated by everything that is going on. I laughed at his words, continuing to grind against him as the music blared. Turning around, I was met with the same handsomely gorgeous man I had ran into before entering the club. I could only see as his eyes sparkled brightly at me, and somehow his lips looked like cherries I wanted to taste so badly. I laced my arm around his neck. I was then hoisted up onto his waist by his strong arms, and before you know it, I was already leaving the club with a stranger who was about to turn my life inside out. Author's note: I want to say thank you to my readers who have been reading up to this far and who will continue with me through this journey. Thank you so much. I love you. Please don't forget to like, comment, and follow for my book if you like it. I woke up the next morning fully catching on to what had happened. So I quickly flung the sheet off my body. Panicking, I immediately started picking up my belongings. I realized that there was no one in the bed beside me. I would have admired the beautiful home I was in, managing to find my way outside the house. I quickly took a cab back home, after finding out I was only 1 hour away from home. My home in New Square, and in the area of Central Park, New York. I was luckily able to get inside my house without my mom detecting I was gone. Once inside, I immediately went to the bathroom to have a shower, and changed out of my disgusting clothes. I slumped down in the shower crying as I remembered what took place the night before. I had managed to foolishly lose my virginity in the space of one night. I regret going to that stupid club so badly. I had gone against everything my mom had said except getting pregnant. I don't remember using a condom, and I wasn't taking the risk, so after a few minutes of crying, I got up to change and head out to get myself contraceptives just to be 100% sure. Where are you coming from? My mom asked me the moment I came through the door. Oh, I just went out to jog for a bit, I lied. Lord, please, forgive me. Oh, it is funny how you look so fresh from a jog. She expressed her skepticism. I would normally go out for a jog once in a while, so it shouldn't seem as though it was impossible. Yeah. I actually stopped at the park for a few minutes to get some fresh air. I lied once again. The pills were safely kept between my breasts to hide it from her. Okay. She flipped her hand in the air, believing what I said thankfully. It was such a painful experience lying to her. Something I've never done since I was in kindergarten. Making my way to the kitchen. I quickly got something to eat first before heading to the bathroom to take the pills. Heading back to my room, I pulled out my phone, grimacing at the broken screen. To make it worse, I had no money to buy a new phone. There were a few missed calls, voice messages, and texts from Pete. I ignored them and saw one from my mother last night. She was the one who was calling me when I dropped it along the way. Does she know I snuck out last night? Just then, my phone began to ring from a number. I didn't know, so I picked up the call. It was a human resource from Wyatt World Bank, a multi-billion-dollar company, and they wanted me to do an interview today at 10 in the morning. It was already 8:55. I remembered applying to this job a month ago, only getting a contact from them now, so I hurriedly got ready, forgetting the night before about losing my virginity to a handsome stranger I've never met before, and the fact that I wasn't even married. So many things were happening to me all in the time frame of 24 hours. Where are you going? My mom asked, as I picked up my bag with my documents from my table. I am going for an interview. I'll text you the info while I am on my way. I'll be back soon, I yelled, heading through the door. Landing myself, this position would mean a lot to me, and all my years of doing good in school would finally pay off. Hopefully I wasn't going to be turned down again, because of how I looked. I've always admired the beautiful and enlarged building the bank was. Heading inside, I was guided to the 5th floor, and into a room occupied by a few other individuals that looked to be going through interviews as well. I heard one snickered when I entered the room, but I paid her no attention. I had managed to reach 5 minutes before my interview time, thankfully. Ava Wilson, the lady from Human and Resource called Tessa, approached and signaled me to follow her. You'll be personally interviewed by the company's CEOs Aiden and Braden today. I expect nothing but professionalism, as this is a one-time opportunity only. All the best. She ushered me into a room, closing the door behind me before I had an opportunity to ask her any questions. Turning to look at the two CEOs, I was met with utter shock. The man I had run into from the club and had slept with was the one sitting before me, with a doppelganger sitting on the table next to him. Take a seat, Miss Wilson. The one around the table instructed me to do it. Although they must be popular, I've never paid much attention whenever I saw them on TV. They were both handsomely made. They both even had light blue eyes. I just hope the Lord didn't send me for appreciating two gorgeous men. I can't believe the man that took my virginity last night is sitting right before me. I hesitantly made my way to the table and sat slowly. Hopefully he didn't remember or recognize me. I was always the mediocre one, and no one ever spent much time remembering me. Always easily forgetting how I look along with my name. Let's get down to business. The one sitting on the table said to me, I see you've graduated from the University of Michigan, and at the top of your class with honors. Impressive. Tell me something, Ava. Do you have any responsibilities, such as kids, etc.? The one I met at the club asked, catching me off guard with this particular question first. I forgot that we haven't introduced ourselves. I am Aiden. And this is my brother Braden Wyatt. So the one I met at the club. His name is Aiden. I see. Thank you too for inviting me here today. I greeted the two, and just like that I was asked a few questions, which I answered superbly because I had been through so many interviews. I almost knew all the questions they were going to ask. All this time the two kept looking at me intensely, but I still kept my composure. I may have slept with him, but I am not stupid to make my feelings get the best of me and ruin my chance. At such a good opportunity. You didn't answer my question previously, Miss Wilson. Do you have any responsibilities, such as children? I need to know if you are flexible enough, he questioned. His question somewhat comes off as a little sensitive at the end. No, I don't. I have no children. I answered Aiden's question. How early do you think you can start taking care of us? Braden bluntly asked, making me shocked at his question. What my brother means is how soon can you start in helping us take care of business? We're a bit piled up in terms of workload, and the sooner you can assist us it would be better. Aiden stated as my chest once again calmed. Oh, I can start as early as tomorrow, if that is okay with you. That'll be perfect, Braden replied with both his hands crossed against his chest, showing how muscular he was. If I wasn't as smart-headed, I would have been drooling at the two handsome men before me. You can leave now, Ava. I'll see you here tomorrow sharp at 8:30. Don't be late. You may now leave, Aiden said, and so I happily took my leave feeling very elated. I was able to land a job, but just before I walked out the door, I could have sworn I heard Braden say, "You were absolutely right, brother. I think she'll make a great addition to our little family." I smiled at this, not knowing the real meaning behind his little statement. I made sure to wake up extra early today for work. I was proud of myself. I could now pay off my student loan and take care of my mama, my one and only inspiration along with God. I was surprised to see breakfast placed on the kitchen counter for me to eat. Normally it would be the other way around with me making the breakfast for my mama. You didn't have to. You know, Mom, I told my mom, taking a bite out of my scrumptious food, it is my duty from now on since you won't have any more time to prepare breakfast. She explained. I could have prepared it. I mumbled, dowing my food. Just be grateful. She slapped me on the shoulder after finishing my breakfast. I immediately got ready and left for my first day of work. Here goes nothing, I said, walking into the building. I had on a gray skirt down to my knees, a red long-sleeve shirt, and my hair loose, going up to the front desk receptionist. Her smile lifted the moment she saw me but faltered the moment I told her who I was. She passed me a pass and told me to take the elevator to level 10. This would be the highest part of the building where the CEOs resided in. I was 20 minutes early, which should give me a good impression. Hopefully I focused on my work today and didn't be flustered by the two CEOs, especially Aiden. I thank God he didn't remember anything about me, or else they might have thought I was a gold digger and didn't bother to hire me. What a coincidence I lost my virginity to Aiden only to be interviewed by him the next day. I was still dampened about how I lost my virginity. Nothing could make up for the loss of what was something special to me. I was going to go to church Sunday and ask God for forgiveness, but it still would never make me feel any better about myself. It is good that you are here early. Let me direct you to your new office, Tessa, the human and resource lady from yesterday, said the moment I got off the elevator. She led me into a big bright room with only a desk. This is your office room. You could always readjust it to your liking. Also, there is a few documents on your desk. I want you to go ahead and read them, then sign an agreement. Your bosses are next door from this room. Once you are finished, they'll tell you your next task for the day. Now, if there is anything you need to ask, I'll be in my office. My email is stored on your computer. You can always email me, she told me. With that being said, she left. I took a while to bask in the beauty of the entire room. I got to see outside the building's sky view. Magnificent. Turning towards the documents, I read the agreement before signing. My payment was everything I didn't expect. It was huge. My student loan was nothing compared to it, and to top it all off, I got housing, health, medical, dental, vacation, retirement, and much more. God had finally answered my prayers. Thank you. I signed my contract with the thought of bringing it back to Tessa soon. In the meantime, I buckled myself to face the two CEOs, Aiden and Braden. I got up from my desk the moment I heard Aiden ushering me to his office. I seamed out my skirt, not to look too disheveled by my attire. Entering the office, I was met by Aiden and Braden. I came to notice that Braden's office was next to Aiden's with an adjoining door, so that is why he would be in Aiden's office most of the time he summoned me. Yes, sir? I addressed Aiden in particular since he was the one who called me in. Their presence would have seemed dominant to others, but I wasn't one to cower away, although remembering I had lost my virginity to Aiden made me feel a bit uneasy at his gaze towards me. As today is your first day at work, your tasks for today will be getting to know your everyday routine here. I and Aiden will be showing how it is done. With the housing facility, you'll be expected to move in by this weekend. You'll be living in our apartment building. That way you'll be closer for us to reach out to you regarding work. Any questions? Aiden fully explained to me. No. Not at the moment, I told him. Good. Now here is a list of things you are expected to do as my personal assistant. He handed me a paper. Just then, a lady I had not seen before entered the room. She was sporting a very short black skirt. It was almost a mini dress matched with a black top that showed quite a lot, her brunette hair long and straight down to her back. A very red lip gloss. She looked like a model. I guess this was the type of woman they wanted. I was strictly here for work and nothing else. Braden, I have completed all the paperwork you had given from last week and faxed it off to our new clients, she proudly said, handing Braden the files. I didn't miss how she seductively pushed her boobs together as she handed it to him with both hands, smiling. I also saw how she addressed a multi-billion-year CEO casually without any title. I was beginning to think you were slacking off on the job. Good work, Braden praised her. Ava. This is Emily Palmer. She is my assistant. During your first month here, Emily will be your guide, as she is more experienced. Her room is just across from yours, Braden stated. Nice to meet you. I smiled, but was given a tight smile from her instead. Okay, I've emailed 2 files for the both of you to complete by the end of the day. Don't disappoint, you're both dismissed. Aiden addressed the both of us. Exiting the room, I went straight to my office to begin my work, but before I could start, Emily entered my office. I thought this could be the start of something new, but her words proved this wasn't to be the case. I am impressed at how you landed this job. I've never seen them go for your type. So what did you do to convince the twins of hiring you? She asked, nearing my desk. Excuse me? Don't play dumb. I can tell by the looks of you. You're not qualified for this job, so tell me. She rudely questioned again. For your information, I graduated from the University of Michigan. I told her. I didn't need to, but I just felt like justifying myself. Well, at least I know. I won't be getting any trouble from you. You are certainly not their type, but I'd just like to warn you. Don't try to make yourself seem more than what you are, and don't you dare try to seduce those men out there. They're mine, she warned, nearing my face. I had no intention of doing such a thing. I am merely here to work, my first day of work, and I was hated by someone I did nothing to. Good. And don't think you can double-cross me. I've managed to get quite a number of persons fired that were in your position. Just keep away and we'll get along quite fine, she smiled at me. You don't have anything to worry about. I reassured her. I was definitely not one to mix office romance with work. Perfect. Then, nice to meet you, Ava. She extended her hand. She was a witch in disguise. I only hope I didn't find myself in an altercation with her, or my job would be gone as dust in the wind. First on my list was to get Aiden his dark chocolate mocha from Starbucks each day. It was always pre-ordered, so I just had to pick it up myself. Exiting the elevator, I made sure to knock on the door. Once I got the go-ahead, I went inside with his mocha. Good morning. Here you go, sir. Your dark chocolate mocha, I gave him, nodding my head to Braden to show my acknowledgement. Dark chocolate mocha? I thought you preferred cappuccino. Braden curiously questioned his brother. Did I get you the wrong thing? Before I could finish, I was stopped as he put up a hand in the air, drinking the chocolate mocha. There is no need, Ava. He responded to me. The other day I had a very tasteful chocolate at my pleasure. From then onwards, I've been craving more ever since, hence one of my reasons for chocolate mocha. It is the best thing I've ever had. I only want it from now on. Taste is exquisite. Once you've had a taste, you won't want anything else, Aiden told Braden. Lucky you. If I had known you were going to get such a sweet chocolate, I'd have tag along for the fun, and from the look of it, I am craving to have some also, Braden told his brother, staring at me. If you want, I could always head back to Starbucks and get you one, sir. I asked him, since he wanted a chocolate mocha so badly. No, that is fine, Ava. I am sure I'll be getting a lot of it soon enough, he stated. Somehow their statement were a little weird. I could have just gotten one for him. Starbucks was almost across the road from us. You can leave now, Ava. With that being said, I went away to my office, almost colliding into Emily. Sorry. I apologize. She just gave me a curious look before walking off into the office. For the next hour, I was busy. I had to schedule a small meeting for Aiden between a mutual client of theirs. I was given a small tour of the building afterwards by Tessa from Human Resource. I had met with the production team, research and development team, R&D, the rest of the human resource team, the operations team, and the finance team. She had promising I'd meet the others in due time. I headed for lunch in the cafeteria, and I was able to make a new friend. Tessa had surprisingly sat with me and another girl from the research and development team. Her name was Chloe Stevens. So Ava, how do you like working with Wyatt World Bank so far? And what do you think of the twins? She questioned. Well, it has been great so far, and the CEOs has been extremely professional. It is a great pleasure working with them such far. I felt as if I was doing an interview all over again. Do you find working or being with a pair more comfortable than working with an individual better? She asked. Well, I don't see a problem with either. I responded once again. It must have something to do with working with both CEOs. Great, she answered. Do you have a boyfriend? I hope you see us becoming great friends, and I hope I don't come off as nosy. I normally try to get along with everyone, creating more friendly work environment. She smiled, but this had nothing to do with work, and I wasn't sure why she would be asking me these questions. No, I don't, I told her. Her question brought back memories of the night I lost my virginity to my now boss. I find that hard to believe for such a beautiful woman. How so? She questioned curiously, eating her food. Well, I've never really focused much on men. I've only ever encountered a mishap the other day, unfortunately. Which I hate to think about, but apart from that, no. I've never had anyone in my life, I told her. And what kind of qualities would prefer in men? Her questions seemed to have everything to do with men, making me a bit uncomfortable. Well, I guess you could say charming, funny, dashing, caring, and most importantly, loving, I told her, smiling. She got up and made us know something came up. What was that all about? I've never seen an HR member so friendly with an employee before. It must be the fact that you're working with the twins. If it was me, I'd be really excited. Chloe smiled like a schoolgirl in love. I guess so. But I am not interested. I can imagine how their girlfriends have to ward off other women on a daily basis. I told her, taking a bite into my casserole. You have no idea, don't you? They have only ever dated 2 women in their lifetime, as I've come to overhear from others. Braden's girlfriend died 2 years ago, and Aiden's ex-girlfriend cheated on him, and as such they broke up. It was all over the news. They've never really dated ever since, she explained. She overheard. Yet she explained like it was written in stone. This was news to me, poor men. But why would Aiden's ex-girlfriend need to cheat on him? The man had everything, including money. They're the most youngest billionaire bachelors in New York. They're only 25 and has managed to become such big success. I wish I was in your shoe. Since I've been here for the past 3 months, I've never gotten to meet them personally. I've only ever seen them at celebrations and on TV, she gushed. Well, I am sure you'll get to meet them someday. But for now I have to go. There is a few work that I want to close out before the day ends. I was glad to at least make a friend on my first day here. Waking back to my office, I had planned to hand in a few documents to Aiden, but as I was about to knock on the door, I could hear Tessa's voice inside as the door wasn't fully closed. I like her for you guys. In fact, I think you guys are way over your head with this one. She is almost too perfect for you guys to handle, Tessa voiced. I am sure she'll be fine with it in due time. Braden responded. Okay. But I think you and Aiden need to take it down a notch. Your strictness may come off as a little intimidating for her, she said. And just like that, the elevator door pinned, revealing Emily. And I quickly knocked on the door to not make it seem as if I was eavesdropping, but I couldn't help but think. Were they talking about me? The twins had managed to get the delivery guy to pack and unload everything into my new condo. I was currently on the highest floor, which had only 3 rooms. One was exclusively mine and the others for the twins. I noticed that there wasn't much employees around that I've seen at work. But I decided to brush it aside. My room was situated between the two. I was absolutely amazed by the beautiful view before me. Apart from my office, this was the second most beautiful thing I'd ever seen with glass view. The room was only for employees, so I wasn't able to bring anyone along with me. But I was happy to say I could now start taking care of my mom and other essentials. Braden's voice caught me off guard. As I stared at the magnificent view before me, "How are you liking your condo thus far?" he asked. Seeing the twins wearing casual clothing was something I'd never imagined to see, even if it has just been a few days working with them. They were so workaholic that I imagined them sleeping with even their suits on. Luckily, I was also wearing proper clothing. I had a bad habit of walking around not properly clothed. He would have probably been sick to see me naked. "I love it." I showed him my excitement. "This is only the beginning, love. Enjoy it. There is a lot more you'll come to experience working for us." "This is only the tip of the cake," Aiden said, walking into my room as well, with a bottle of wine in his hand. I didn't miss the word love as he spoke to me. As if realizing my dilemma, Braden spoke up. "That is how we address others that we consider to be our business partners and loved ones. There is no need to jump to conclusions," he reassured me. I nodded my head. It was quite weird since we only knew each other a few days ago except for that night. "What is the occasion for?" I pointed to the glass in his hand. I didn't want to drink, remembering what had happened the night before, when I had too much to drink. "It is just to celebrate you joining our company. We'd normally do this for our new employees. Other department heads would do this for their new staff members. But you work for us, and as you can see, there was much work that was needed to be done. Now seems to be a good time," Braden explained. "Thank you. But you two go on ahead and drink without me. I'll be fine," I told them. "The wine is for you, Ava. There is no need for us to drink it." "It is a celebration, of course," Aiden spoke, "but I wasn't having it. I'd rather not, and I am happy for everything that both of you have granted me such far, but I have bad experiences whenever I drink. I apologize, but I just can't." I told him, "Apology accepted, but the wine is yours to use at your disposal whenever you please." Aiden placed the bottle on the table. "There is just one other thing. If Emily is your assistant, then why isn't she living here with us as well?" I questioned, a bit curious. Emily used to stay here at first, but then became quite obsessed, crossing plenty of lines. She had to leave because of this, but she now stays at another one of our company apartment. Apart from that, she is good at what she does. That is why she has worked for us all these years. I'd advise of you not to say any of this to anyone, or to Emily, as she might find it offensive." Braden once again. I nodded my head in acknowledgement. I began unloading my small belongings, once again feeling a bit uneasy, with the two staring at me when Braden asked me a question. "Who is Pete?" Turning around, my phone was in Braden's hand, as it vibrated only for it to stop after a few seconds later. "He is no one, sir," I replied. "There is no need to be formal, Ava. We're not in the office. You can just call us by our names," Aiden responded. "Sorry. I am just not used to the two of you outside of work," I sheepishly told him. "Well, I am 100% sure you'll be getting used to us sooner than you think. We'll always be beside or behind you to use at your disposal. You'll soon be on top of us, screaming us orders and bossing us around," Braden said to me. His words sounded a bit odd, making me furry my eyebrows at him. I wish. Me bossing two billionaires around. What could be there for me to teach the Wyatt businessmen? "I think you two have passed the stages of learning," I smiled sheepishly. "I'll bet you this a drink in the coming future. You'll be doing exactly as I've stated. Deal?" I had no doubt I would not be bossing those two around. I might be smart, but I am definitely not a genius, or I'd be rich. A human's capacity to learn can never end. Each day we learn something new. We take advice as well, and more than ever we listen to those that are at the bottom, which makes up a percentage of why we're successful, Aiden said, which he did have a point. Did he just told me I was at the bottom? In a professional manner? Why do you ask for Ava? I was surprised to see Braden answering my phone to my utter shock, making me run to him to take my phone. And another big surprise was Aiden grabbing a hold of me and pinning my back to his chest. My bottom basically kept grinding on his rear end because of how he held onto my waist and pulled me to him. This position we were in now was making me aware of what was happening. Give me the phone. I tried taking it away from him, but ended up falling on top of Braden, while Aiden landed on top of me. By this time, Braden had already told Pete off. I wasn't yet ready to forgive him. He left me at the club, and I ended up sleeping with a stranger at the time, when he promised to stay with me after begging me to go with him. Why did you do that? I questioned him, pissed at his actions. You said Pete was no one, yet he kept on calling. I just wanted to make sure he was not harassing you, he explained. Well, don't. I may work for the both of you, but at the end of the day, I am not your concern. I told the two. They both didn't respond to my statement. Hopefully I didn't come off as rude and they end up firing me. You are our concern from now on, Ava, whether you like it or not. If anything happens to you, that is on our hands. You work for us now, so you're our responsibility. Aiden responded, and I was taken back by his and Braden's sudden change in demeanor. Bye, have a great day. I waved my hands to my church friends. I stood waiting for a taxi to come by so that I could go home. Weirdly enough, I spotted a black car with tinted windows. I sensed as if someone in the car was watching me. I hadn't told the twins I was leaving, not wanting to bother the two. Just then, Pete showed up beside me. He had been trying to get my attention this whole time, but I paid him no mind. I had forgiven him, but I would not forget what he did. What do you want? I turned to ask him, annoyed. Ava, I am so sorry, please forgive me. I didn't mean to leave you alone. Livia suggested that I cut him off before he had the chance to finish. So all of this is because of Livia. You left me alone, drunk, all by myself, with no way of going home. But your girlfriend was so important that you forgot all about me, so why are you here? I poked my finger into his chest with every question. I am sorry, Ava. If I could go back in time and change everything, I would. Just don't hate me, he begged, now going down on his knees. I quickly pulled him up off the ground, looking around as there were still a few church members around. I don't hate you, but I can't come to terms just yet because of what you did. I told him. I would have been elated to see my friend again after so long, but the fact that I had slept with someone and lost my virginity still upsets me. Can we still be friends? He questioned with hope in his eyes. Yes, we can. I told him as he picked me up off the ground and spun me around in circles. Let's go have lunch, he suggested, nodding my head. We went off to Starbucks to have lunch. I ordered a crispy grilled cheese sandwich, while Pete, on the other hand, ordered a turkey and pesto panini. How did you manage to get home the night before? He questioned, and I could see he was uncomfortable asking me about the question. Let's not talk about it. I didn't want him to feel guilty about the fact that he left me at the club drunk, and I ended up sleeping with someone I knew nothing about. Okay, I finally managed to get a job. I now work at Wyatt Global Bank, I told him happily. Yeah. Your mom told me about it after I came by to visit. You were there. Congratulations. I am happy for you. You deserve it. I just wished I was there to see it, he congratulated. So that means, I no longer stay with my mom? Yeah. I just hope we can still be best friends and catch up often as we used to. Am I or your family and friends in no way allowed to visit? He asked. No. They don't allow visitors, unfortunately. It would have been great to have my best friend around once again. Oh. Well, we'll still catch up like we used to, he smiled. A man had taken his seat next to us, and I couldn't help but believe he was listening to our conversation. Or maybe I was just being paranoid. He just ordered a cup of cappuccino and read a newspaper. What about you? What have you been up to these days? I asked him. I've decided to be a grown man and take over my parents' bakery. I am now the junior manager for Beckett Deli Cafe, he explained. That is great. You are so lucky to become a junior manager. Soon you'll be the CEO. I was happy for him. Yeah. His face was a bit sad. What is the problem? Is it Livia? I asked. I knew Livia didn't like Pete working. She preferred to have his parents' money instead and go out. She doesn't like the idea of getting a job, but what can I do? My parents have cut all my bank accounts, he sighed, putting my hands on his shoulders. I tried to make him feel a bit better with my comfort. I am sure it'll be all fine soon, I reassured. Livia and I are over Ava. I feel so depressed and alone. I don't know what to do. I think you've made the right decision. Maybe Livia is the one who needs to get her priorities straight and see that you are a fantastic guy. Give her some time, hopefully she'll miss you. And come around and remember that I am here for you. I tried to encourage him. You think so? He asked, hopefully. I know so. I mean, what girl wouldn't want to be with you? You are handsome, funny, and intelligent. If she doesn't see what she has, then she is not worth it. You'd be better off with someone that truly loves you for who you are. I gave him my support, and surprisingly Pete kissed me. My best friend kissed me. I didn't know whether to be elated or angry. Secretly I had liked him very much, and now this, but remembering Livia I pulled away from his kiss. Pete, this is not right. You're not thinking straight. You guys just broke up. You don't know if she'll be back. Let's not make any mistake, I told him, standing up. Wait, Ava. I like you and I know you like me too, so just please give us a try. I promise I won't let you down. He pleaded. Pete, you're conflicted and emotionally unstable. I may not know much about relationships, but you're looking for a rebound chick. And I am not that girl. I'll be leaving now. Have a great day, I told him before walking out. I was walking out on my crush. My only hope was that I was making the right decision in doing so. I quickly hailed a cab and made my way home before Pete had a chance to stop me. It was sad what he was going through, but the only thing I could offer were words of encouragement and my support. After finally reaching the elevator, I immediately took off my shoes, feeling very tired. All I wanted to do now was sleep. The elevator pinned, and I was met with the sight of the twins staring at me. I smiled, acknowledging the two, and said a brief hi before heading off to my room. And where are you coming from? Braden asked. I was a little taken back by his words that sounded a bit harsh. Well, I went to church. I told the two. I felt like a child being interrogated for coming back way after my bedtime. You look tired. Aiden surprisingly came to hug me. I was taken back by his sudden gesture. Everyone was coming with their own surprises today. Sir. Ava, we're not at work. You don't have to address us as sir. I want you to think of us as your friends when we're not at work. Just relax, he whispered in my ear, rubbing my back slowly. Taking a sigh of relief, I relaxed myself a bit into his arms. Braden parted our hug before taking me into his arms. It seemed a bit weird, but I paid no mind. All I wanted to do was relax. Maybe, just maybe, they aren't such bossy billionaires like I had expected, but rather caring and sweet men after all. Well, I think that is everything. Aiden shook hands with one of his clients from a small business loan group who wanted a startup grant for their new business. Thank you very much for seeing us and giving our company this opportunity. You will not regret it, the short, stumpy man said to Aiden. I hope not, Braden smiled. I was very amazed at how the twins did business. They were so good at it. It made me wonder what else were they good at. Ava, have these documents set in order and photocopied. Make sure to hand in the original to the marketing team, and have a copy for me before lunch, Aiden asked. Yes, sir. I responded. There is something, Braden, and I need to update you on. So once you're finished, please meet us in my office, he instructed. Okay, sir. I went on my way to have everything copied, and unfortunately ran into Emily. I only gave her a brief smile, not wanting to interact with her the least. I've been thinking, she began saying to me. The other girls would have already been swooning over the twins, but not you. Clearly there is something different about you, and I can bet my money on it. You are clearly not their type, and to think I had competition. So here is the deal. I'll help you to stay here longer and not get fired. It is a win-win situation, she blatantly told me. I wonder how on earth did she manage to land this job. I have stated before that I am in any way interested in my bosses. I intend to keep my words, I voiced. You are a smart girl. We might just get along. She smiled, walking away. I came to find out she was absolutely crazy. I headed back to Aiden's office after handing the marketing team the documents he had ordered. The twins sat around their desk discussing about something when I walked in. They immediately stopped. "Have a seat," Ava Braden said. "Firstly, there are a few rules that was set in place for security reasons. By now, a lot of persons may know you as our personal assistant, which put you on a high risk of being targeted by criminal masterminds. You'll no longer be required to take cabs while coming to work or going home. You will now live in a secured building. As you may know, the company will provide you with auto allowance." After your probationary period, Aiden carried on. "With this being said, you're only allowed to travel back and forth with us. Do you have any objections or questions you need to ask?" Braden asked. "No, that is fine with me." They had a valid reason, but then this was a little uncomfortable for me. Secondly, visitors are restricted from entering the apartment building. For security purposes, Aiden added, "Did I have something to do with this in any way possible? Just yesterday there was few restrictions, and now there is more right after I came along. Was it because of my color?" "This has nothing to do with you, Miss Wilson. Now that you work for us, we're merely taking precautions," Braden explained. "Okay." I nodded my head. Something was not right. I felt as if they were lying to me. "We'll be heading out for lunch and would like it if you will accompany us along. From lunch we'll be heading to a TV show, so it'll be more convenient for you to be with us," Aiden said. "Okay. Will Emily be coming along?" I questioned. I didn't want her to think I was hogging her men. "Yes, of course." Braden's expression didn't seem to be pleased with my question. Soon we were on our way out to their car, which was a black Grand Cherokee that was surrounded with 2 other cars that had security personnel. Just days ago I was without a job, and now here I was with 2 famous billionaires. The interior on the inside was gold and black, with 3 seats in the middle, 2 at the back, and 2 at the front. Aiden and Braden went in from both sides, which left the middle seat open. Seeing this, Emily immediately rushed in between the 2. Taking that as my cue, I decided to take a seat beside the driver instead. They would have to exit the car for me to enter the back seat. I could tell that Aiden and Braden was about to object. So I quickly got into the front, not waiting for them to. Plus, I'd feel a lot more comfortable. From the rearview mirror, I could see an annoyed Braden texting away on his phone, while Emily smiled happily while pulling her hair back and pushing her blouse down. She kept on talking to the 2 as they only nodded their head and hummed. Not long after reaching the restaurant for lunch, taking one look at the menu, my eyes widened. Luckily it was concealed with the menu card, but I definitely didn't have such funds, and I was now terribly starving. I wasn't exactly a slim figure that could eat small amount of food and be fine, and the scent of the foods around wasn't making it easy on me. The restaurant was very classy with quite a lot of rich guests. I determined this by looking at their suits, dresses, watches, and food they were all eating. I was certainly not comfortable with spending my boss's money this way. I felt completely useless and like a charity case. As if reading my mind, Aiden immediately spoke up. "The lunch is already fully paid for, so you can order whatever you want." He spoke in general, but I could sense that he was talking to me in particular. It must have been the fact that Emily was already used to this, and I wasn't. Not wanting to spend too much of their money, I ordered a chicken salad. The cost itself could have bought me a damn phone, and this was sadly the cheapest thing on the list. "Are you sure that is all you want to eat?" Braden looked at me skeptically. I am sure if she wanted to order anything else she would have done. "So?" Emily chopped in, looking a little irritated. "Yes, I am not hungry." I lied. I was damn hungry. Meanwhile, Aiden ordered steak, Braden ordered chicken piccata, while Emily ordered lobster tail. I wasn't even going to pronounce their fancy names. The moment I started eating, I felt a bit of grudge looking at the others' food, while mine was a mere small simple chicken salad. The picture seemed more bigger than the actual plate itself. I don't think I could go through this whole day on a mere chicken salad alone. I played around with my food the entire time, not wanting to look greedy, but making sure to finish once they were. This whole time they kept talking while I kept my answers short, making our way to their TV interview. I wasn't feeling well, but I didn't bother saying anything, not wanting to mess up their interview, and definitely not wanting to seem unprofessional. Luckily, Emily was there to assist with what I wasn't able to do, because the next thing I remember is falling to the ground and darkness taking over. I heard beeping sound around as I slowly tried to peer my eyes open. I could feel a hand caressing my cheek, lovingly as my mother normally would. After successfully opening my eyes, it was Aiden that was next to me. I was in my room not remembering how I got there. What happened? I questioned, him confused as to what is happening. You fainted a few hours back, he explained. But why? You're weak. The doctors say your vasovagal reflex was triggered, which causes the heart rate to slow and the blood vessels to widen or dilate. This reflex can be triggered by many things, including stress. You also haven't been consuming enough nutrients that your body needs lately, Aiden answered, watching me closely. Why didn't you tell us you weren't feeling well? He questioned. I didn't want to seem like a burden for guys, so I decided against it. What was important at the time was to have you guys complete the interview. I didn't want to ruin it. I told him the truth. How often do you normally have these blackouts? He asked, seeming a little pissed. Not often. It is nothing to worry about. It wasn't often. And I didn't want him thinking I wasn't suitable for the job because of it. I can sense you're lying. I'll give you one last chance, Ava. How often does it happen? Using his hand, he lifted my chin to look him in the eye. How did he know this? Are you going to fire me? This time I was on the verge of crying. This job was now my life. I could not afford to lose it. Especially such a good one. What was I to do? Sit at home and scramble to find another job? Hugging me tightly to his chest, I could feel a sense of ease into his arms. It was as if I'd have nothing to worry about for the rest of my entire life. Trust me when I say you have nothing to worry about. Losing you would be the last thing on our agenda. His words reassured me, but at the same time seemed a bit weird. Of course, I didn't have a guaranteed spot. I was even on probation. I would have not expected his kind gesture. I've heard so much about people working for rich people and how they were the most stuck-up persons, but not these twins. They cared about their employees. Before, he looked a bit angry, but not anymore. Looking at the time, it was 9 a.m. in the morning. Aiden should have already been at work. Oh my gosh. I am sorry you had to stay because of me. Thank you for looking after me, but you can leave now for work. I'll be fine. I ushered him to go. I needed to get to work as well. I've already taken the day off. Braden will be handling the business. It is not the first he has gone a day without me, he explained, but I am fine. I will get something to eat, and I am sure we can make it to work before midday. I told him, removing the sheet from off my body to get up. You're not fully recovered and strong enough to be moving around. You are to be observed for the next 24 hours before heading back to work. I've been given a few prescriptions for you to take after you eat, and I'll be here to ensure you take them and eat, he strictly told, with no room for objections. I noticed I was wearing a pajamas, and I had somehow managed to change out of my work clothes. Who took off my clothes? I nervously asked, but sigh in relief after finding out it was a female doctor who had changed my attire. Thank God. Leaving my bedroom, Aiden went to the kitchen and came back with a platter in his hand, containing a plate with bacon, eggs, chocolate pancakes, and frankfurters, and a cup of chocolate tea, which was my favorite. He had managed to make all of this for me. God, I'd love a man who can cook. I, on the other hand, could not cook to save my life. Yet these billionaires knew how to. They're proving to be more multi-talented every day. Thank you. I expressed my gratitude after he placed the food before me, just as I was about to take up the fork. Aiden took it from my hand, cutting the food into multiple pieces. I can take it from here, I told him, but he just continued this time, placing the food to my mouth to eat. I was like a child being pampered and being scolded at the same time. I didn't know what to think. Hesitantly, I took a bite of the food into my mouth. And my goodness, it was tasty. I tilted my head backwards, moaning and savoring the tasty food into my mouth. This was absolutely what I needed. Opening my eyes, Aiden was staring at my lips, making me furry my eyebrows together. What is it? I asked him, but without answering, he kissed my lips. A tingling sweet sensation, rocking my body, and butterflies erupted in my stomach. He then pulled away, gathering more food for me to eat. You had chocolate on your lips, he said to me without looking at me, as if it was nothing. Oh, okay. I awkwardly replied, feeling a little shy. This reminded me of the night I had lost my virginity to him. Without saying a word, he continued to feed me until the plate was completely empty, even making sure that I took my pills. I will like to freshen up a bit, so if you don't mind, I'll be going to the bathroom now, I pointed out. He was quickly by my side in a blink of an eye. Surprisingly, Aiden lifted me up and brought me to the bathroom. I can walk, you know, I told him, but without listening to me. He carried me all the way to the bathroom and asked for me to call once I was finished. He was acting as if I had no legs and arms. I wondered what would happen if I cut my hand and he saw blood. I would probably be bedridden for a few weeks straight. After finishing my work, I decided to leave the bathroom without calling him. I wanted to prove to him that there was no need for him to treat me like a baby. But I was the one who proved myself wrong after standing up a few seconds, and walking. My head felt dizzy, and before I was about to reach the ground, Aiden catched me thankfully. Ava, I swear if you weren't in such a bad shape, I'd punish you until you knew the consequences of going up against me. I strictly told you to call me when you were finished, but you decided against it. I can see you're not the type to take orders, so you leave me with no choice, he angrily spoke. Leave me with no choice. What was he talking about? What do you plan on doing? I asked. I was just starting to see that Aiden's not the type that likes a rebuttal from anyone, and so was Braden. These twins were full of surprises. A billionaire taking time off to care for a mere employee when he could have just left me at the hospital, or even replaced me with a new personal assistant in a blink of an eye. But instead he decided to feed me and acted as if I was a baby. Someone I've only known in the space of almost a week. Since you're unable to take care of yourself, then you've left me with no choice to take full care of you. Even if this means staying with you for a lifetime. Eat, Aiden ordered as I took a piece of the casserole into my mouth. It was dinner time, and he had made cheese casserole with garlic bread just for me. A part of me was absolutely loving the way he was taking sweet care of me. But on the other hand, it felt a little odd to me. Did you go to cooking school as well? I questioned him. I didn't know if I should be this friendly with my billionaire boss or not, but he has said on multiple occasions that once we're not at work I could address him casually instead of professionally. No. My mother had taught Braden and I how to cook from we were young growing up, he explained. Wow. She must have been a world-class chef, I joked. Yes, she was, he replied, confirming my joke. Just then, the door opened to reveal Braden, sauntering inside my room looking dashingly handsome as ever, in his tux and a briefcase to his right hand. How was work at the office, sir? I asked out of guilt, but seeing him grimace made me realize that it was an awful day. Once Braden started taking off his jacket and unbuttoning his shirt and sleeves, my heart skyrocketed. This was something you'd normally see in a movie, and definitely not in person. A hot billionaire, stripping right in front of me. Let me remind you for the last time, princess. I'd rather like it for you to address me as Braden when we're not at work. The next time you address me as sir, I'll have no other choice but to reprimand you. He smirked, making his way towards me, his words sending tingles to my body. Something about the way he said those words didn't seem to be innocent at all. And what do you plan to do? I questioned, very curious to know. Ignoring my question, Braden came to sit on the bed beside me after greeting his brother. How are you feeling? He asked me instead, playing with the curls in my ear. You didn't answer my previous question? I told him, needing to know what kind of punishment he was talking about. It would take some getting used to stop saying sir, and as such, I knew I would mess up once again. I don't like to be questioned the same question twice. If that day comes, I'll make sure that it is a sweet punishment you'll have no other choice but to love. He continued to play in my hair. How is she? Braden asked his brother about me as if I wasn't there. A lot better than yesterday, but she is a lot stubborn than you think. Aiden responded, and I stared at him out of disbelief. I was not stubborn. A few seconds later, Braden showed up next to me with a small gift bag in his hand. Without even looking, I handed the bag back to him. I can't take this, I told him. Okay, there was definitely something off. First, in the space of a week, I was being pampered, and now being showered with gifts. For no reason, obviously there was something else there to it. Take it, he ordered, He left no room for me not to. Taking the gift, I placed it to the side of my bedside table. Clearly, he was not impressed by my rude hospitality. Aiden stood watching us from the door. "I told you," he said. "Why can't you just do as we say?" Braden softly asked me, playing with my hair. "You guys keep being nice to me without an explanation. There is no way two billionaires is going to take time off from work because of a mere personal assistant. They met less than a week ago. You guys act as if we've been close friends for years and now you are showering me with gifts. I just don't get it. Obviously something is going on that I don't know about. Are you guys going to kill me? If we wanted to kill you, we would have killed you already, Ava, but we're not killers. We only see you like a younger sister to us. We've always desired to have a sister to cherish, but after meeting you, we felt a strong bond," he explained. "So why not adopt a sister or have a daughter? What bond attracted you to me? A mere average woman that after years knowing her, you could forget her the next minute. Of course we hope to have a daughter in the future, but we've never been able to find the right woman. And if you were a mere simple woman, we wouldn't have even recognized you," he responded. He sounded to be telling the truth. But then again, what did I know about the truth? I didn't know what else to say. I just turned on my side and away from the two. Their sudden, sweet gestures towards me had me in a daze. And I didn't know what to think. This was too much. Should I take their gifts and all their care and not think about anything else? Or should I tell them to stop? A few minutes later, I heard the door close. They had left without saying a word to me, making me feel terrible about myself. What if they were only doing what they said? What if they were being genuine? Looking at the little gift bag beside me on the table, I took it up, taking the content outside of it. It was a Samsung Note 21 Ultra, as the box read. The sleek design of the phone let me know it was indeed expensive. This must have cost quite a lot. I know my phone was a bit crappy, but I would have just bought a new phone once I got paid. Not to say that I didn't love it, but I'd feel more comfortable paying it off instead of taking it as a gift. I smiled at their little ways of caring for me. I decided against being mean and transferred all information from my old phone that I had for 4 years to my new phone. I would thank them later, and barging to pay off the cost in the coming weeks when I get paid. Hoping out of bed, a little dizziness took over, but not enough to make me pass out. I made my way to the shower and headed back to bed so that I could rest and watch a night's movie before work tomorrow. That same night was the first I had a sensuous dream in my entire 22 years of accidents. And it all had something to do with 2 dashingly handsome men. Aiden's past. After months without getting laid and constantly working overtime, I decided to head to the club. I wanted only a one-night stand after multiple failed relationships. The moment I was about to enter the club, I felt a small thud to my chest and found it was a girl that had bummed into me. She had dropped her phone and proceeded to pick it up, mumbling a small sorry, before running away to catch up to her friends. She had stared right into my eyes but seemed to not know who I was. This intrigued me with the fact that she wasn't like the others I had dated before. She was not a model but a little bigger in the right areas. And most of all, she had a very innocent look that captivated me. "Mr. Wyatt, right? This way, sir." A friend of mine, Mayfield, had led me to a VIP section of the club, making sure I wasn't noticed by other clubs patronize. I was then surrounded with beautiful women around me. But all this while I could not get the beautiful, innocent-looking girl that bummed into me off my mind. Get off. I rushed the girl that was undressing me and nibbling me ears, immediately fixing my suit to leave and search for her. I would have gladly had my fun with her, but I was not in the mood for her. I was rather in the mood for someone else. I stood above the dance floor searching for her when I found her dancing with a man. She was clearly drunk in such a short period of time. Her friends that she came along with her was nowhere in sight. I wanted her and her only. This strong connection I was feeling towards her, I've never felt for another woman in my life, and before I knew it, she was in my bed. After tasting her succulent core, she was a lot more than what I had expected. As I was about to ravish her even more, to my utter shock and surprise, she kept on unknowingly mumbling she was a virgin. Thus I decided against having my way with her. The mere fact she was a virgin meant that she wasn't the usual women I'd normally slept with. Her virginity seemed to mean a lot to her, hence the reason why she is still a virgin. This night couldn't have gone any better. She was more than I wanted in a woman, and I surely would not let her go after this. Once she was asleep, I went through her bag. Her name was Ava Wilson, age 22, from 34th Street, Kensington, New York. That was all the information I needed to gather for the moment. With this, I went back into bed with her cuddling little Ava to my chest before falling asleep. My dear brother was going to be excited to hear about this little cougar I had found for us. Present. What did you find out about the man from yesterday? I asked Braden. His name is Pete Beckett. Mother and father owns a small restaurant, and he has a girlfriend named Livia. The two met at the University of Michigan in their freshman years and became good friends. They've never dated before, and has remained friends until the boy tried kissing Ava yesterday, asking for a chance together when she rejected him. He explains to me, I don't think he is a threat to us, but if he tries anything, then I've compiled a few information that we could use against him, he explained smugly. Good. I smirked. Just what I needed to hear. How longer do you think it'll take before she sees us being more just her bosses? She is starting to make me believe she is a lesbian. No woman have gone this long without making a move at us? Braden questioned me, pissed. She is not like the others, Braden. She is a lot different than the others. That night we shared together proved to me that she is a keeper. The taste of her dripping core was more than delightful and thrilling. You'll never want any more in your entire life. That is easy for you to say, Aiden. I long to have that taste that you talk about. I've been impatient for almost a damn week, and I am not a patient man. The fact that she hasn't thrown herself at us already proves to me that she is different. Exactly my point. She needs to be delicately approached, as Tessa explained before. She needs time to get used to us before we can make a move. I told him. I smirked at how exciting it was to kiss her lips that day. Her moans and cries would soon ours. God, it would be such a pleasure impregnating her and have her prance around all day with my babies. The thought bringing delight to me. Something else happened between you two again, didn't it? He questioned me, noticing my smile. I guess you could say that. I smirked. Do you think she'll give in to a polygamy with us in the end? Braden asked. I hope so. And do you think it is wrong what we're doing to her? He asked. This wasn't the company building she was to stay, as there are two others for our employees that was located in New York itself. I pretended I didn't remember sucking her tantalizing core the first night we met, and telling her that we wanted a younger sister, when nothing of this sort has ever crossed our minds. We haven't done anything considered bad to her, so I'd say it is not at all wrong. I replied. I haven't even felt her yet, and I crave her the entire damn day I was at work for the past few days. Braden told, which lead me to chuckle at his reaction. I think we need to ban her from wearing those provocative clothes at work. I've seen other employees eyeing her, and I don't like it, Braden voiced to me, displeased with the way they looked at her. I don't like it either, but Ava is one of the most dressed employee we have at the office. Telling her she dresses inappropriately would be the lie of the century. I guess it is the way she is finely molded, I voiced. Our little Ava is just perfect. But the thought of how she fainted because of being stressed and hungry has made me angry. I should have known that damn salad was nothing. Her C-cup breast and well-shaped ass was a dead giveaway. We needed to ease up on the amount of work we were giving her also. How I want to spoil her so badly. Her hair down to her feet was perfect in my eye, not to mention her exhilarating taste. I craved every little part of her. She was unique in her own little way without even knowing it. Soon I'll have her in my arms to cherish. I am giving her only 1 month, Aiden. We've basically gone through 1 week already. In 3 weeks' time, I'll be making my move with or without you.